Hey Priya, Johnny, I know that you are a beauty coach. You're really big on skincare. You're really big on motherhood, and you really like to do a one-on-one consultations for beauty, makeup, and just skincare in general. So let's talk about your story. And thank you for coming on the Healthy Indian podcast, and supporting mental health and the cause and wellness of others. So appreciate it.
God, Umang, thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. Disclaimer to anybody watching, this is my first podcast, so if my
Let's go.
if my ability to tell stories is not as clear as it should be, I hope I get better. But yes, thank you so much for having me. Super excited to talk about mental health, beauty, how it kind of fits into my space and to my life right now. But yes, thank you.
Awesome. Great to have you. So I guess, like, where did your journey with, like, as a beauty coach start? Like, how did you get into beauty? And, like, why do you still do it to this day?
Yeah. Well, I want to say my journey with beauty started with my mother. Growing up, I would seamlessly watch her put on like eyeliner to go to work every day and just kind of get dressed up and be the best version that she could be, which was so nice to see. It kind of gave me the ideas of like if you look good, you feel good, sort of a thing. And
Right.
sometimes even if like you're having a really bad morning, a really bad day, putting on a little bit of lipstick, a little bit of mascara really does change that boost of confidence in yourself. And then it like kind of spreads throughout your day. So, if you walk a little bit taller, then you speak a little bit nicer and you feel those happy moments. And it kind of, you're inviting good feels into your life just by taking care of yourself. And I think makeup kind of does that for me. So that's where I started. Beauty
Awesome.
coaching for me. Started about a year ago, last September 2021. I decided that, you know what, I've been doing tutorials and stuff online for a very long time. And although it's fun and it does get me to work with brands and, like people I want to work with and collaborate with, I'm not getting that one on one experience that I like where I get to serve people. And I felt like the beauty industry was missing this one thing where individuals can teach another person exactly how to apply makeup for themselves because makeup isn't cookie cutter, right? So it's
Right.
almost like a personalized luxury experience for that person to learn how to wear makeup. And then it kind of, that confidence kind of trickles down into different parts of their life. So that's how I started doing beauty coaching.
That's awesome. And do you get like almost like a kick out of it now that like you are a beauty coach? Because I feel like it's like the same effect when it comes to fashion a little bit. Like
Mhm.
that's how I kind of like relate beauty to it because I feel like having, for me, like I love fashion and I love like dressing myself up. So it gives me confidence to go out and, approach people, whether it's women, whether it's friends, family, even like, going to a gym class. I feel like having the right wear and just the right color coordination, I feel like it gives me confidence, or even getting a haircut as a guy, right? So
Yeah.
like I think just like having that gives me the ability to kind of work with others and even do things like what I'm doing now, like a podcast. So what would you say? Do you get like a kick out of it from
Yeah.
just a one-on-one, and do you learn stuff and everything?
Absolutely. I think almost get a kick out of it, but also feel like I know it's like you're using materialistic things to make your day go better, but I don't see it like that. I kind of see it like if I do spend 10 minutes on myself, or if I spend an hour and a half to 3 hours teaching somebody how to do their makeup, and they themselves spend maybe 10 minutes on themselves every single day, it makes such a big impact. Putting on that nice outfit shows that you love yourself. And that's not a bad thing to have. People will be like, oh, you don't need this to feel this. I totally disagree. And that's kind of where this all started. I always thought that like feeling that inner peace, feeling that like stability has to come from, books, values, etc. But there's other things that people do to make themselves feel happy, whether it's going to go get a coffee. And that's the way that they spend that 10 minutes of self-care. It's like, walking to the coffee. Yes, there you go. I have mine right here. Um, and so, it's about doing those little things that really make a big impact in your day. And yeah, I believe that like putting on makeup, putting on um, you know, I'm going to say lipstick because lipstick is so powerful. People undermine that. But you know that if someone's wearing a red lip, and you might see this in the business world, if someone's wearing a red lip, they mean business. Like they are not joking around. They are usually that like that girl or that guy to wear that lipstick. Like it brings a different attitude about you. It brings a different self-confidence about you. So, you know, I think that's the beauty of doing the coaching is like people think like, oh, they're going to come to me and learn how to put on makeup. What ends up happening is they feel the confidence to then go wear makeup and teach others how to do makeup. And I'm totally for that. I don't believe like my secrets are secret at all. That's why I give them out for free, even on the internet, even if I'm doing coaching classes. I'll still teach you how to put on eyeliner. I don't mind because I don't need you to pay me and teach you for you to feel that. Like I want you to feel that regardless of what's the capability of us getting together and doing a coaching session.
No, that's awesome. And like going back to the lipstick comment, yeah, like you see all these women when they are presenting, these like executives and CEOs, they're wearing red lipsticks. Yeah, now that you mention it, it's very true. And I think having that confidence to kind of just be yourself and you're able to kind of like help someone out like when they're unsure about how to like put on makeup or just like the right way to do it, because there's so many formulas online, right? So I feel like, like even when I see your videos and I see you doing all that, creating formulas and contouring and all this stuff, I'm like, wow, that's effort. Like that's
It is.
really interesting. But like, how do you keep, I guess, how do you like learn about all this stuff? Like, how does one know how to do all this? Because I have no experience in this realm. So
Of
really.
course. So I originally started learning how to do makeup just by watching YouTube videos, seeing people do their classes, and then I started going to master classes and attending them online during COVID. I just found that it was a great way for me to still keep up with the arts without being physically there. I actually moved from a big city. I moved from like just
Oh,
the
wow.
outskirts of Toronto to Gainesville. So a lot of
Florida?
the access and resources that I had touch and go were no longer there. So for me to keep up with my art as well as being able to, help clients or have clients to physically do makeup, I definitely had to keep practicing my skill. So um,
Gotcha.
yeah, online platforms are a big way to do that, but there's so much information now. So I think that's where the coaching comes into play. And that's why I wanted to start it because you could contour, but are you contouring the right angles for your face? Everyone's face is different. And that's the beauty of makeup is it's very personalized and tailored to that individual. And that's kind of how it should be, right? You don't wear shoes that don't fit you. So why would
Right.
you wear a contouring look that doesn't fit you?
Is there, when it comes to makeup, is there like a quality to makeup? Is there like bad makeup versus good makeup, or it's just subjective on the person?
I think it's subjective on the person. There isn't such thing as good makeup and bad makeup. I think it's color theory,
I
right?
think
We grew up as an Indian, as a South Asian, lighter is always better, was always like the mantra. And I don't believe in that. I've been tanning my body since like grade seven. I used to sit outside, read a book. My mom hated it. But it was just that I didn't understand why being fair skinned was so beautiful. It just it
yeah.
didn't make sense to me. So I personally would go tanning and it would really irk my mom. But um, I still find that even going through coaching sessions, I deal with that a lot. I'll be like, okay, if you want to pick up a new foundation, this is what I suggest. These are the shades I think you'll be in. Go ahead and get swatched, meaning like if you go to Sephora or MAC, they'll like put it on your skin so they can see what matches you best. But often the client will always go lighter. And when you go lighter, it doesn't match you and then you feel like your makeup doesn't look nice and then all of that. So I really have to spend time. I do a two-part. So I do a consult where I really spend time explaining the theory of makeup, what I want them to achieve, what they want to achieve. Do they just want like a quick look or do they really want to learn techniques? Whatever they want to do is pretty much what I will teach them. But at the same time, I also want them to understand that no there's no perfect version of beauty. Everyone is beautiful, right? So let's achieve your beautiful. And for me, I think it's very important to get that balance because then you really like your makeup. Then there is no bad makeup, right? I could use a $5 product and still really love it just as much as like the 50 or the $100 price point. It's all about technique, it's all about application and color theory.
It's also about confidence too, right? Like if you don't care what other people think of you and what you wear, I think it's about like if I wear like a colorful jacket, a lot of times my friends are like, that's kind of weird. But if I feel confident in it, I will really like I won't care. And the more I wear those kinds of, a little out there kind of, fashion or just in general, people are gonna start getting used to it. Like
And they might feel inspired, they might be like, wow, I didn't really think that was going to look very good until you put it on. And now
exactly.
they probably want it too. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's all about trial and error too, right? Not every makeup look is going to be the best thing you do, but it's practice. So as long as you're constantly working towards, what you want to achieve, I feel like makeup kind of falls into that too. It's very like practice, 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 till it's perfect. Like I had a client, she was one of the first clients I actually had, and we had our session. She did amazing. She really enjoyed her look. And then a few months later, she posted a story about how her cousin, I believe, had a makeup artist who possibly couldn't show up for that day, for her
Wow.
wedding day. And so my client stepped in and did her makeup, like for her bride, for a bride. Like that is mind blowing to me that, you
Insane.
know, having that confidence. I am not going to say like, oh, I taught her what to do because I didn't. That third person was not my client, and that third person, I don't know what their face shape was, what their skin tone was, or anything. But she was able to really step in that moment, feel confident that I can put makeup on someone else. And just a few months ago, she wasn't confident to put makeup on her own self. So it's crazy how something can like trickle down. And at first, I didn't realize the impact of this at all. I thought, this is just going to be a fun way for me to, earn some money on the side and et cetera, et cetera. But this turned into something that was just so fruitful. And the reasons people want to learn makeup astound me, whether it's like for a holiday party or whether it's like, oh, I don't, I never taught myself these techniques and here it's the time that I want to. I'm a mom of two and I just want to feel beautiful. Like there's so many different reasons I get. And I'm just like, thank you for choosing me.
Yeah, yeah, no, and makeup's such a powerful thing. I mean, even when it comes to, especially the brown community or any community, like wedding planning, having, your wedding planner, and in case those situations, like, they're not there, you
Yeah.
need someone that can be reliable. And I feel like in your friend's case, it was you, right? So, I think it's important to know, like, like, just have people that are, I think, professional in this field, and to have them that they can provide value, because you never know when you're going to need someone, especially at a wedding. And it's so true for what you said. Like, people worry about like the fair nature of their skin. So especially like fair skin, that conversation, I've heard it so many times. Like, people are scared to go out in the sun like a month or two before their wedding day, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna get dark 10 times darker. Like, why does it matter? You look beautiful the way you are. Not like, not to toot anyone's horn, but I'm saying like, it's true. And I think that prerogative should be taken like more, like less seriously, and more show about like beauty. Beauty should be like just a confidence thing. So, going back to beauty, what would you say, like, how does beauty for you articulate to mental health? Like, how do you think, like, especially for women too, we could talk about that too if you'd like, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Whoa. So beauty, I feel like in this toxic space, the beauty industry can be very, very manipulative, very toxic. It's very hard to stay grounded if you don't know your path.
hmm
I think that's very important. Like, what are your values? What are you trying to achieve? I think all of that kind of plays into that mental health aspect because you can get derailed and you can get like pushed around by people, people will book with you and then cancel. Like you really have to stay confident and true to yourself if you really want to succeed in this industry. And by no means am I at a level of success that I attribute to the beauty industry, but I feel like I've found my rhythm. I've been doing this for so long. I've been making YouTube videos since 2016.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
before that, I was just sharing stories and stuff on Instagram and Snapchat when
Awesome.
Snapchat was really big.
Yeah.
Um, and then I found that I didn't like what I was doing. I wasn't true to myself. I felt like I was being fake, even though I was just being nice on the internet. And I'm not saying like I'm a jerk now, but I'm very honest now. I'm
Yeah,
more so
right.
I have my voice, and my voice isn't always a happy-go-lucky dandy, but
Yeah.
before it was, and I felt like it was eating me in the inside. So I deleted my YouTube account.
Oh, wow.
And I wish I didn't, because I wish those 200 people had still stuck with me, and I don't know if they are, and besides the point. So then comes 2020, when COVID hit, I was like, okay, I'm going to do YouTube again, but I'm going to do it in my voice. That means I might upload a funny video, I might upload a makeup video, I might upload a vlog. Having more of like a holistic approach to beauty, I think helps with that mental health aspect, because if you get so caught up in the next product release and having the money to buy it, and creating a look that goes viral, you're like, it's so much pressure, you can crumble under all of that. And I think that's what the beauty industry is, right? It's like so much content, so much money is funded into it. There's so many opportunities too. But if you're not like reaching out and getting those opportunities, it can really be kind of like a bummer, which uh, can be really tough on the mental health space. And you see that a lot with beauty influencers. You'll always see them post like a video that's like my final video, and it's like a breakdown video,
Oh,
because it's
wow.
just so much pressure. And coming from a viewer to like an influencing sort of status,
Yeah.
I've always kept that in mind. It's like I don't want to have that moment where I just can't take it anymore. So I don't know if I just rambled on for like 4 minutes, but basically
No,
beauty and mental health, it's like they're almost like two opposing um, industries that you're trying to mesh together. And I think I'm trying very hard to do that, because I want it to be like, this can really make you feel good. How? And that's my like
how is
motive right
that?
there.
Yeah, how is like the appearance, or how is like that how for you, So
Yeah.
especially on feeling good, looking good, and always being able to perform content to help others, but at the same time avoiding burnout is what I'm
Yes.
understanding. And
Yes.
no, and I completely get it, because I was a YouTuber too. I did anime like
Okay.
5 years ago, and I started from high school, and
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got into this for a while. So, like, for me, this is like kind of like second nature. Like this podcast, a lot of people don't know, but I did anime growing up, like
What do you
2011.
mean you did anime? My husband's a big anime fan.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll send you my channel. It's still around. It's like called the Batwave_1. And
Oh,
yeah, and I used to do like reviews for movies, reviews for anime. I used to
okay.
post
You have to
anime.
share that with me then. Yes. I'm
Yes,
sure
yes.
he'll enjoy that.
Oh, I'm sure he will too. I mean, I'm still watching anime to this day. But
Okay.
growing up, I mean, I used to always just be a fan, and just I used to tamper with just the names and editing and vlogging, like, uploading
Wow.
like
And isn't that so fun? I love that part of like content creation is the filming, the editing. I rarely enjoy like the posting and commenting and replying to comments. Like for me, like the clout or whatever is not worth it. For
right.
me, it's like that skill that you develop when like getting to like, oh, I want to change this part of my video and make it look like this, or overlay this. And I might be talking very basic to you, but like you probably do
No, it's
so much
fine.
more.
It's fine.
But
No,
I'm
I get
saying
it.
like that part of it is just so, you learn such cool skills when you're doing this, that it's like it sets you up for success
It
in
really
different
does.
fields as well.
And I feel
Yeah.
like it gives you an inner voice too, because a lot of people will doubt you. And like you said, if you look at the comments too often, I think you're gonna just see yourself trying to look for validation rather than like,
Yes.
like trying to create good content. Because the more validation you get, like, in the first like 10 videos or 15 videos, it's all great and all, right? People like you. But then once you start getting big, or even start having some kind of momentum, there's gonna be people who hate on you, hate on your content. They're gonna say you don't post enough, maybe you don't have enough quality in your videos, you're talking
Yeah.
gibberish, you're like the next Joe Schmo, right? So there's just so much that is around content creation now. So I think
Yeah.
you kind of just sticking to yourself and like letting people know that this is who I am and having your own voice, you know, I think that's important. And like, I guess the question I'm trying to ask here too is like, are you the type of person now, since you've seen like this change in the beauty industry and you felt like you speak up for yourself now, do you feel like you go with change or you resist change now? Like, are you go with the flow kind of person with content, or are you now like, no, like I'm gonna say no to this and I'm gonna post this now, or like,
Yeah.
how are
So
you?
I feel like TikTok culture has changed how we view content. You know, things are a challenge or things are a trend, and you do that. Like people will use the same music, or they'll do the same dances over and over again, and it'll be scrolling and it'll be the same content over and over again.
Yeah,
I personally don't really do that. I might use trending music, but I'll just put it over like a makeup video or something like that for algorithm purposes. Like I'm still trying to make this work at the end of the day.
right.
But no, I really don't fall into a lot of trends unless it's like a fun trend and I really connect with it because, or else I just become part of the crowd. Like, am I really serving? I think that's like the biggest thing for me as well, right? Like, I have to think about like in 2016, I stopped doing beauty. Why did I stop doing beauty? I felt like I wasn't serving people. I wasn't giving them what they wanted, and they weren't learning, and I wasn't benefiting, and it wasn't fruitful for me. So, I go to them, and one of our biggest lessons that we learn is to serve others, right? And doing that, doing those trends and stuff, I feel like it doesn't serve. I want to be able to share tips and tricks that actually make an impact, actually make a difference, something that someone can learn and really implement into their routine. Or it's just fun. Like maybe someone needs a laugh, someone needs a
Yeah,
smile, and that's how I'm going to serve them. So I'm really conscious about what I'm putting out. I'm not really just putting out products I don't use or because it's a deal or sharing things that are controversial just to be part of the conversation. Like sometimes I don't relate with some of the issues that are happening, and then I don't speak to it. And maybe that's a fault of my own because you're expected to have a voice and have a voice for a certain cause. Um, but that would be like it would be backwards for me to do that, right? Especially when I'm trying to be different.
right, right, right. No, it's definitely it's true. Sometimes you have to pick and choose your battles, and I think having your own voice is important. But then there's certain times when there's controversial stuff. It's almost like a trap, you know.
Yeah.
So it's also
And
like you're
people will like badger you, be like, hey, why aren't you talking about this? But why should I? Right? Like you have your own Instagram account, use your voice. Why
yeah,
should the onus always be on me? Because what if I don't follow the same viewpoint as you, or whatever the case is? Maybe I don't want to talk about it. Maybe it's very personal to me, or you know,
right. Or maybe I don't want to put myself in that conversation because I already have my self beliefs, and there's no point of me kind of convincing someone else because not everyone wants to convince other people. I think people who want to convince other people, some people do it with the intent of trying to show them a perspective, but some people do it with the intent of control. So
mm-hmm. Yes.
control is like, you can't force someone to change, even like when it comes to liking you or just doing things with you. You can't force yourself to make friends. You can't force you can control your environment and hope for the best, but I think controlling someone's perspective on beliefs and controversies can really hurt your relationship with them. So sometimes it's
Yes.
better not to mention it.
No, and at the same time, I still want to be respectful. Like,
Yes, 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 yes,
like
yes.
at the end
There's
of the
that
day,
respect there.
people still have high eyes, they have hearts, and you never know what people are going through. So I
Right.
used to do this thing that I definitely have stopped. I used to post a lot, like, if you go to restaurants, you post a nice meal. And then someone reached out to me in my DMs. It was kind of like one of those people that like they don't follow you, don't follow them. So it's like kind of hidden in your
Right.
your hidden messages. And they were just like, I've never had the money to eat such a nice meal. I hope you enjoy it. And that just kind of made my heart drop. You think you're sharing a part of your life that's like a luxury, and oh, this is so special, I'm out with friends. But there are people in the world, maybe they're not even homeless, maybe they're not poor, and they just haven't had the opportunity to experience that. And for me, like, sure, I don't care if like I share like a purse, makeup, or whatever. Like that doesn't bother me. It's very materialistic. But food hurts, you know, like that really
Yeah.
bothered me inside. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it like that. And in, I was doing it out of just sheer fun, but for them, it wasn't. That was like, it kind of, it hurt them. So ever since then, I stopped sharing a lot of my meals that I would have outside of the house because I just felt like, wow, what am I, why do I need to share that? You know, like it was kind of like an eye-opening experience. So even though like, and that's an impact on someone's mental health as well, right? It's like, I feel like you can inspire people in so many different ways, but to make them feel like they haven't had a meal really, really just pulls at my heartstrings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little tough to deal with that stuff, especially like when I go to soup kitchens and stuff, and I see like all these kids and stuff. And me and my friends, like we were when we were in undergrad or college, we went to like the soup kitchen, and we just saw like a couple of these like I don't know these people at the soup kitchen who were from impoverished families, and you just see like the parent taking food away from the kid, and it was just kind of like it sucked. But this thing is, like, at the end of the day, like, we gave the kid food and everything, and it was all good. So, sometimes you have
Yeah.
to just you can't say anything in those situations. But the thing is, like, at least you're doing community service and you're trying to help out. So it's like a really really good thing. And mental health can also be, I think mental health is just as powerful as is weak. Because sometimes, like, when people are like, yo, I'm going through like depression, anxiety, all these different like disorders too. I think them just doubting themselves is like the biggest thing. And I think if you could help them to not doubt themselves, it'll really, really like change their perspective. Because people with mental health problems also have the strongest ability to bounce back if you could just show them love, I think.
Yeah.
So I think if you show them love and then that's it, like you're golden to them, and then they're very loyal too. So I think just they're just more feeling oriented in my opinion. So if you just do that. But going back to your mental health and everything, do you feel like you've ever had anxiety with situations or just in general like any mental health struggles? Feel free to share if you'd like, but no, you don't need to if you don't want
No, of
to. It's
course,
fine.
I'll share. I think I've always kind of had an anxious inner self.
Right.
Anxiety is something that I feel either when I'm in large crowds, have to do like a public speech, like
Yeah.
that sort of anxiety. But then I also feel anxiety when I can't control a situation. I think things are going to go one way in my day and then all of a sudden get derailed. I've started to feel more anxious. I think after having a child, I feel extremely anxious all the time because, has Anik eaten enough? Has he gone to sleep? Is he still sleeping? Is he okay in his
Right.
crib? What was that sound? You know? So all of that just kind of like builds up, especially postpartum. I think mothers will agree that you just have that feeling all the time, and it's like in your chest and in your gut that you're just constantly thinking of your child or children. And
Of course.
so anxiety, I think, runs deep now for me. And for me, like some days are great and I'm able to tackle it. And then some days I'm really, really weak and I have a breakdown or I freak out or, I am all of a sudden on a yelling spree for no reason at all. And often my husband takes the butt end of that. But,
Yeah.
um, you know, it's, it's hard because you just feel so much pressure. And postpartum depression is huge. So like I was really, really careful about that because you can get stuck in your own head,
Yep.
especially with motherhood, because you can do everything right and then, the baby is still crying and you still feel like, can you hear?
Yeah.
And
Fine.
you still
Fine.
feel like you're not able to make this child happy. So one thing I did do, and I hate to bounce back to this, but I'm going to because it's what I did, was I would spend just 15 minutes a day doing something for myself. Doesn't matter what that is. For me, usually it was putting on makeup. So often in my DMs, a lot of people after I had a baby would be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you have the time to put on makeup." I'm like, it's just 15 minutes. And that's just what made me feel good. And the rest of the day, it carried on for me. I could have had the most crappiest day, but just doing that for myself made me feel like I took time for myself and I still thought about myself because literally the next 23 hours and 45 minutes was about my kid. So when you like put it into perspective of like how I was able to kind of like go through PPD, postpartum depression, and postpartum like just going through it, I finished my 4 months. So like my fourth trimester just ended, like was ending like now. So I feel like technically you're over the hump of
Yeah.
all of that. But I just say like if you just had a kid and you're dealing with postpartum, whether it's depression or just postpartum, because that's a lot on itself, and we can kind of touch on that if you'd like. But
Sure.
just take 5, 10, 15 minutes, do something that's not baby related for yourself.
And I think with single mothers too, like we had, my neighbor was Jewish and she had a baby too. And, she was just kind of like, the single mom got a child very early on in her like
Yeah.
early 20s. So seeing that and just having conversations with her, like finding, like, I guess I was kind of like her outlet, kind of to just vent. But it was interesting because, she would just talk to me about like all the stuff, like having a kid early on and, just taking care of them. It was like refreshing for her to just kind of find an outlet because, I feel, being a mom is like almost like you're also giving away a lot of your time to treat your kids if you're not getting homeschooling. And sometimes as a mom, like, especially in the Brown community, we want to spend time with our kids, right? We don't want to drop them off to daycare and just work 9 to 5 and, not have a relationship, right? So, and it's natural for, as a female, for you to take off from work, right? Some people quit their jobs for a year or two just so they can, really focus on their kids. So you doing makeup and then also focusing on your kid is amazing. And I applaud you for that. I think that's it's a great thing that you're doing. And hopefully you get to where you want to be too with this. And the main thing is just remember to have fun, remember to have fun, put on 15 minutes of makeup, do your thing in the morning,
Read a book,
read
whatever
a
that is.
book.
Take a warm shower,
Yeah.
take a bath, whatever that is for you. That means self-care. I think it's important. Just make sure it's not baby related, because if you're spending that 15 minutes washing your bottles, those bottles will get washed no matter what. You know what I mean? Even if you stay up like another like 10 minutes to do that or
Right.
whatever, like that'll happen. But what are you doing for yourself? I think that really helps with that depression portion of it. That doesn't mean that's going to cancel everything. If it's serious, of course, see a therapist, of course, see your doctor, like take the precautions you need to take. But when people are asking you, like, how are you? Really think about it. Like, how am I? Because one day you'll be good, and then the next day you'll have like a really crappy day, or, and it's hard because like it's hard, and a lot of people don't talk about postpartum. Um, you know, Depending on what type of birth you've had, you're healing. Your wounds are healing. If you went through a major surgery, you'd be bedridden for 3, 4 weeks. No one would make you do a single thing. But instead, as a mother, you're waking up every 2 to 3 hours to feed your kid. You're not getting enough sleep. On top of that, you're organizing everything, making sure that the kid is set up for success throughout the day. And then, you know,
Right.
um, and then it's all the anxiety and the worries and just trying to catch up on your day to day. And like, it's just like, it ends up becoming a lot. And even if you have the help as a mother, you still want to do everything. Like,
Right,
you
right.
still,
You still want to be part of their life. You don't.
exactly.
My mom still does that to this day. Like I do dishes, and she'll be like, "No, let me do the dishes," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Why?" She's like, "Oh, I wanna make sure you get that like 5 minutes to eat or something, or watch this
Yeah.
show or like watch this NBA game that's on or something." So I totally
Right.
feel that. So in this industry that you kind of tapped into, and while also taking care of your kid, what's his name by the way?
His name is Anik.
Anik.
Ahnik. Yeah.
Ahnik.
Yeah.
Awesome, Anik.
Mhm.
Nice. That's a cute name.
Thank you.
So do you have any mentors that kind of like teach you how to be like so good at beauty and skincare and like like how like do you have anyone you look up to right now that shaped you to kind of get into this? Because skills and stuff, right? So
Yeah. I would say like mentors, I don't have like personal mentors where it's like one-on-one. I'll tell you who inspires me.
Sure.
So in terms of like makeup, Caitlin Jane Hughes, or
Sick.
Kate Jane Hughes, she's amazing. I feel like her content and the way she's just such an artist when she's doing her makeup. Makeup by Mario is great. I've followed his journey for a very long time. That's Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, if you're not aware, but he's so much more than that and very humble, very down to earth. And it just reminds me that even in an industry, when you get so big, you yourself stay humble because that could change in a minute. And I feel like his success has really been earned, even though he was Kim Kardashian's makeup artist like 12, 15, for like 10, 15 years, or 10 years for sure, but has been in the industry for so much longer. You're just seeing his success now. And it just shows you that you really have to put in the work. And then in terms of like actual inspiration for like day to day, how I really feel motivated to provide for myself as well as serve others. I would say my guru, Ram Swami Maharaj, has really put an impact on my life. Mahant Swami Maharaj continues to put an impact on my life. And for me, I think it's very important to have something greater than you to believe in. That really brings like a form of humility in your life and day to day, because when you're online and you're getting all the likes and all the comments and all this like appreciation, it's nice to remember that you're doing it for others and not for yourself.
No, I definitely think it keeps you grounded, right? It keeps you grounded. It keeps you, you know, it keeps you
My
like,
husband may have just dumped my kid right next, and I didn't realize until.
you just drop them and run away.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I didn't even realize until
This
I
is
heard. I was
great.
like,
This
what
is
is
great.
that?
Now people are gonna relate to you and your kid. I love this. I love this. This is the raw version of
Yeah,
of the truth.
this is again
The source of the truth.
the hijacking of this podcast.
You could get him in on this point. It's fine.
But he seems fine right now. Let's see. I'd
Okay.
like him to be independent if
He's chilling
possible.
with his little bib.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
he's like hella chilling. Look.
He's like, look, it's mom.
Hey, you want to say hello? No.
Yeah. He's so cute.
So thank you so much.
No, yeah, no, for sure. So these inspirations that I guess that motivate you, is your ideal one day, like what if you met one of them? What would you do? Like, would you,
Um,
what would it be like, you know? Because it would be interesting, right? Like my inspiration is Jay Shetty, so I want to meet him.
wow,
I read
yeah,
his book, Think Like a Monk, and it inspired me to kind of do what I do.
yes.
But like, what would you do if you met? I always wondered, like, what would you do, like, if you met like this makeup artist that is under Kim Kardashian? What would you do? Like,
I
you know?
think aside from being like starstruck, excuse me, um, I would just want to pick their brain, like understand more about techniques, understand more about their journey, what, we only see like a little sliver of it, what's in the magazines or what's been like broadcasted or whatever the case is. So really just working to understand how they've really found success in this industry because it's such a large scale industry. Um, Now, that being said, I got to meet Jonathan Van Ness. If you're not familiar with him, he's on Queer Eye. He's like the hairstylist. And I was just blown away. I had like a 5-minute conversation with him about his products and about my journey as motherhood and everything like that as well. And it was just like so cool because they're just like so open and ready to talk to you about their experiences and your experiences. And I think we just put people on pedestals for no reason, right? We have to realize like they too understand your journey. They too are like gonna be mentors. So allowing that mentorship to occur and not feeling like I said, starstruck. I don't think I would stay starstruck for very long because I would want to get something out of that conversation. I would feel hungry to do that.
To learn and to
Right.
grow, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
I think if I was to ever meet Jay Shetty, I would definitely ask him like, how does he transition from like one topic to another topic, and also how would he like really how does he get to know someone on such a deep level? Because not everyone can tap into that, and it's sometimes some people don't want to open up, right? And you have to be able to
Yeah.
read signals. You have to understand like how your life can, you have to be able to make connections, right? So I always am hungry to learn from him and to see like what made him so grounded, aside from being a monk and all. But that's
Of
awesome that you have
course.
that perspective, and I think it'll go a long way for you when you reach that level, because I think a lot of people reach that level and then they think they've made it, and I feel like it's constant. It doesn't need to be like
Yeah,
you made it,
no.
you know?
No,
So
I don't think there's ever going to be a point where you can say I've made it because there's just so many avenues you can do, like you could become the top makeup artist, but then what? Then what? Like then you might want to open up your own brand, or you might want to open up like a line in a store, or create your own academy. There's just so much you can either go into like teaching. I apologize. Um, but there's just so many avenues that you can take. So to say I've made it is cutting my success short.
right, right, right. And to always be relatable. I think being relatable at a high level, that's like what
Yes.
Drake does. Like even right now, like I'm a big fan of Drake, like his music and stuff. So like even like the way he speaks with people, like people are like he's dead. Like he's not gonna make it. Every year and this guy makes it, right? Like he
Makes a banger that you want
makes a
to
banger.
you want
Yep.
to play in your car when you're driving, of course. And he
Exactly.
could have easily said, okay, 3 platinum labels, I'm done. And so many people are one hit wonders, and
Yeah.
but
I mean,
that's it. Like he could have done that, but he could have stopped at Degrassi for all and
for sure.
that's not where he stopped. He picked a whole new industry to go into. And now it's like, I forget which music video it was, but where he was giving out like college tuitions and everything like that. Like
God's
incredible.
plan.
Like,
God's plan.
there you go. So, like, incredible where people are able to help each other. And like, it's like how Shaquille O'Neal buys people's like engagement rings. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do with all that money, anyways? You could totally change someone's life, you know? And
Right,
it
right,
doesn't have
right.
to be by like dropping millions of dollars, but I'm saying like even you as a person, an act of kindness can change someone's life.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's what I'm learning too. Like even just to be like more like kinder and to let go of ego. I think that's one thing I've learned this past year. Like ego has always been there, but it's been at the best place I want it to be right now. So I think that has been removed completely. So I think I
yeah,
hope that that's the same for everyone.
yeah.
So I think we're coming to a close for this podcast because I would love to have you again. And you have so
Sure.
much to offer, and I know you have to go for baby duty right now. So
You can hear him. I know my
I'm not gonna
heartstrings are being pulled.
so long, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Like you're making this poor woman like stay here while her baby's just staring at her.
I know.
No, I'm just joking. But yeah. So do you mind answering a couple of rapid fire questions and then we can just end it with a close? That's cool.
Okay, sure.
Awesome, cool. What is the best present you've ever received?
Love.
Love. Okay. What is your favorite holiday food?
Ooh, samosas.
Samosa, you said?
Oh, samosas. Yes.
Samosa. Okay. I couldn't hear that for a sec. Okay. And do you like New Year's resolutions or do you like the 4th of July? I don't know why that was one of the rapid fire questions, but
Um, I guess New Year's resolutions. I'm Canadian, so I don't really care about
yeah,
4th of
I don't think you'd care about that. I'm like, why is that one of the questions? I don't know. Okay. And then mountains or beaches?
July. Ooh, mountains.
Mountains. Okay, cool. And why is that? Do you like more like hiking and stuff, or you're not a beach person?
So when I moved from Toronto to Florida, everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna be close to a beach," and then you realize like the sand, the dirt, the organization that goes into going to the beach, and how like hectic it is, finding parking, etc. I feel like mountains are nice. You get to be cozy. You can be indoors or outdoors. Like I think it's a vibe. it's
It
it's
is.
a way better vibe. Yeah,
I'm trying to go to Banff, probably like in a few months or something to
nice.
Alberta. So I definitely will hit you up if I'm in Canada.
Yeah, I'm going to BC in December, which
Oh,
I'm so
British
excited
Columbia,
about. Yeah, I'm
beautiful.
so excited. My
Yeah.
brother lives there, so I'm excited to go there and visit and
It's your
just
first
have.
time, or you've been there before?
I've been before, but I just had a baby. My brother just had a baby, so it's gonna be
Hey,
like it's gonna be different.
yeah. Two little
Yeah,
babies finally meeting too. It's gonna be fun to see
yeah.
them
Finally,
interact.
like yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And you have such a great perspective and a great mind. So we would love
Thank you.
to have you on more. I think it'll go a long way for people that are into skincare and beauty care. and I think they go hand in
Absolutely.
hand, what mental health. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. Bye, Umang.
For sure. Later. See ya.